Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Welcome, everyone, to Tap Into Your Healthy Self. My name is Annabel Fisher, and I'm delighted to be back with you today. I specialize in working with highly sensitive people who want to move out of simply functioning in life and transition into feeling safe enough to be authentic in life, living to their fullest, healthiest potential. And you can visit my website at the EFThealingcenter.com for details. And if you would like to call into the show today, I'd love to hear from you. I'll give you the number right now, so you can write it down. And I've just lost the number, so bear with me a minute. Okay, here we are. If you'd like to call in, it's 347-215-6833. And if you have a question for my guest or me, feel free to press 1 on your phone, and I will unmute you. So it's the Labor Day weekend here in North America, and it's a glorious day. The smell of fall is in the air, and this is the time that many people start considering what they'd like to do for themselves. Perhaps the children are returning to school, or maybe they're considering what new skills they can learn, perhaps how they can be of service and contribute to the world. So today's show is very timely. My guest today and I are passionate about the work that we do. In fact, the reason we both became EFT practitioners is because we wanted to help others. What we realized after setting up our individual practices, however, was that we needed a certain mindset in order to create a thriving business, rather than continuing with a part-time hobby. The sad fact is many EFT practitioners just about make a living doing what they absolutely love, and of course what they're incredibly skilled in, and they don't accomplish the financial success that they deserve. And all of this is because of the limiting beliefs that hold them back. So what is this mindset? Why do we need to be healthy on the inside to establish a healthy business? Well, Alina Frank and I will be discussing that today. Alina has a successful private practice in Washington, having worked with over 2,000 clients from around the world, on the phone, in person, and in Skype. She's a certified trainer with the EFT Universe and has been mentoring practitioners since 2006. And you can visit Alina's site at www.tapyourpower.net. That's tapyourpower.net. And Alina is not only a guest on my show, she's also a person who I absolutely adore, and I have a very special place for her in my heart. So it's my honor to be talking to her on this holiday weekend. Welcome, Alina.
Thank you so much, Annie. Annabel. It's fabulous to be here. It's exciting to join you today. And just a little note, you know that Labor Day is mostly celebrated in the U.S., and we actually got the idea from Canadians. So there.
Wow.
Yeah, in 1882, the head of the American Federation of Labor, Peter McGuire, actually proposed Labor Day as a federal holiday in America when he went to the labor festivals that were happening in Canada. So I think that it's great that we're here on this particular day talking about something like building your practice and building your business, because I do think that what we've experienced is just how hard it seems to be for many coaches to actually earn a decent wage, and that's what people were fighting for way back in the 1800s.
Yes, very timely. Thank you as well for giving us that snippet of history. I mean, that blends in very nicely with our topic today.
Yeah.
So if your curiosity has been piqued and you'd like to ask Alina a question or perhaps make a comment about your EFT practice, here's the number one more time, 347-215-6833. And please feel free to press 1 if you have a question, and I'd be happy to unmute you. So Alina, I would love to start with a little bit of your story, how you really established your practice once you had learned the fundamentals of EFT. So you had your skill set, and then what?
Yeah. So what I really enjoyed doing early on was the fact that it gave me freedom, so that I could have a little practice while my children were growing up, and I could really just pick and choose and be selective, and not worry too much about having a really thriving full-time practice that wasn't my priority. And I was kind of humming along, doing okay, maybe seeing just a few clients a week, maybe one or two or three. And then I was struck with what, I jokingly call the cosmic 2x4. I asked my ex-husband for a divorce, thinking that I would have some time to really convert my practice into not just a hobby and not just this part-time thing, but really to support myself and have it grow organically. But I asked my ex-husband for a divorce, and his company folded within a month, and so it went bankrupt, and I had to find a way quickly to figure it out how I was going to shift this into a business that would not only support me but my kids, and we would move on. I certainly had worked so hard using EFT to get to the point where I actually felt really comfortable about the next chapter of my life, that I wasn't going to go backward and say, well, then just forget the divorce. Because I want to be with you for financial reasons, that just wasn't an option for me. So the other option was, I better really figure this one out, and fast. And I know you have a similar sort of story about this.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying that, and I've heard your story in the past, and you and I have discussed this together, but what I'm noticing is there was enough pain there to be a motivator. So initially, it was something that was really satisfying, and you'd even refer to it perhaps as a hobby, but then suddenly, bam, life struck, life got in the way, and you really had to motivate yourself forward, or else, almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my story was not dissimilar in the sense that it was, I had the mindset of, I must make this work, because there's not really anything else that I feel that I can do at this moment. So I was recovering from chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was in a place where I was actually mobile and able to walk around again. And I obviously had connected to EFT and realized how fabulous it was, and it had turned my life around, and I wanted to use it to help others. But I had absolutely no money, because I had used all my savings through my illness and my recovery. So I was on disability benefits, and it really was a matter of, I had to make it work for financial reasons, because I didn't want to be on disability for the rest of my life, and I needed to start making some money. So I think for me that was it was a huge awareness. I must do this, and I must make it work, and also I must take it very seriously. It wasn't something I wanted to dabble in. I knew that this was it. This was my passion. I felt that this is what I would be doing from then onwards. So I had to make it work.
Yeah, and I love your story, and I think you hit on something that one of the things that's important when you are determining, is this a hobby for me, is this a business for me, and the mindset that shifts from a hobby to a full-time business is your awareness and your acknowledgement that yes, indeed, you want to make money.
That's right.
Because those of us in the healing professions, we are so motivated by the transformation that we see in ourselves, and then with family and friends when we start doing this work, and it's, wow, so juicy so wonderful to see what's happening for these people and in ourselves. We just want to go out there and change the world. But but we're missing this little component of, which is really important, is yes, and I want to make money at this too.
Yes, and how do we reconcile the two? Because there's often a lot of awkwardness and discomfort around that. Who am I to receive payment for doing what I love?
Yes.
Yeah. If I'm in a place of service, should I really be being paid for that? That's not very spiritual. It's not very generous or very kind. Really, the work that I do perhaps doesn't warrant financial reward.
Right. And another one is just the absolute sheer terror of asking for money. Because, I know that we address all of these things in the program that we run, and we find that if people are coming from a corporate background or they've been a stay-at-home mom for a while, it's a completely foreign concept then to then ask someone to pay you a fee directly. I mean, there's nobody at in HR delivering a check to you. This is you asking for money and asking for value, the value of what you do, and that can all be really scary.
Yes, that's right. So, even that in itself requires a different mindset, because they're no longer working for somebody else or part of a corporation, as you suggested. They're actually working for themselves. So the bottom line is now I must ask for this money because I need to be paid for the service.
Right. And where to even start? When I was looking into how I would do it, I was completely overwhelmed when I looked at what was out there in terms of marketing a business. Wow, billions and billions of hits on Google as to where to go and who to trust and how to do this in such a way that didn't leave me feeling sleazy. And sending spam to people that didn't want to be reading what I had to offer, and being sales pitchy, and I spent a lot of money because I knew that part of it was I need to invest in my business. So I'm going to set aside a certain percentage of what I make, and I'm going to really tune into learning about this marketing aspect. And it's just crazy the amount of money that I spent. I spent in one program I was spending about $400 a month, and I've shared this with some people. This particular person, would actually threaten you. And part of when you read the clause when you signed up for the program, it said if you ever leave the program, you are never allowed to come back. But looking through the information, some of it was useful, but nobody has any idea really what the heck an EFT coach does and the finer points of how to market that particular group and who is going to be attracted to you, your target audience, all those things. I don't think very, very few people in the internet marketing world have even heard of it, and they certainly don't know our particular challenges. And so it was wading through all this information, which left me a bit overwhelmed, and we certainly see that in the students that we coach.
Yeah, I had the same experience too of that overwhelm of who do I go to for business guidance and coaching, because I had been a teacher, so I just received my monthly check. I didn't have any awareness of how to run a business on my own. I was very lucky that my father had a business, so I had seen his model. He'd had a very successful business, so I had that kind of background, but it wasn't any formal training. And like you, I started working with various coaches. I joined groups. And exactly as you've said, not one of them knew how to address the EFT audience, as I call them. So I was told internet marketing tips and things like that and how to create an online business. But for me, it felt, well, you used the word sleazy, I felt a bit icky. I didn't feel it resonated with my audience or would make me very attractive. And I spent, you talked about $400 a month. There was one coach I was working with about 3 years ago. I was paying him $1,000 a month, and he didn't know what EFT was, so I had to educate him in that. And you're absolutely right. Our students on our program are in that same place. And what was interesting, Alina, you mentioned just now, was that you made a conscious choice to set money aside. So part of your income you put aside for, well, I'm going to use the term for marketing. So you determined that's how much, this amount of money needs to be put aside to spend on marketing. But one thing that I hear from our students is, I don't have the money to do that, or I'm frightened to do that, because now I'm actually making money from seeing clients. I want to pay myself, or I need the money for something else. So you believe it's a value to put money aside to pay for the marketing aspect.
Yeah, and it wasn't really marketing. It was trying to figure out how to do it. It wasn't even the actual paying, this, that, and the other, PR firm or anything like that, or paying for ads. I just was trying to figure it all out.
Yes.
And I want to say very clearly that I was on a shoestring budget. I really did not have a lot of, I was spending the money, but I was very mindful that I needed to figure this out quickly. And one of the things that really benefits those of us in this profession is we have a tool that helps us along the way, which I think is essential to remember, is that we can be tapping on these various things that are causing the blocks. So yeah, I think when you're talking about the difference of having this be a hobby and and having the mindset of, oh yes, this is a business now, is to make a commitment and invest in your business. And I think that with that, you really do change the tone, the energy around it. It's the difference between showing up for a phone call. Many of us do phone sessions. Showing up for a phone call in a house dress, in a bathrobe, or showing up dressed, knowing that you are dealing with clients, and that you are going to put on your professional, face and persona, and you're going to actually engage in your business.
Yes.
So it's that all these things that work towards really actually anchoring in that the whole energetic around it, and you can call it law of attraction, or we can call it the fields that are out there. We are saying, yes, this is who we really are, and then things shift to match that more and more and more as our business increases.
What you're mentioning, Alina, reminds me so clearly of one of our students earlier in the year, and she was juggling her 2 full-time jobs that she had and trying to slip in clients around them,
right,
as well as bring up her 2 young sons and in a relationship as well. And she was seeing clients at sort of 8 o'clock in the evening and getting frustrated about not knowing how to promote herself and various other things, and juggling so much. And I said to her, you need to take on the energy of being an EFT practitioner. If you are serious about your intention to make this your full-time practice, you must take on this energy now. It's not something you squeeze in from time to time. This is who you are. and it created such a massive shift for her. She got really serious. I mean, in a fun way. It wasn't arduous, but it is like the light bulb went on for her. I am an EFT practitioner. This isn't a hobby that I'm squeezing in. And she immediately, what was fantastic was she then started going into her office at home, her home office, and doing business things, like on her computer, spending time doing that, and scheduling time in. And what was so fabulous was within about 2 weeks, she got 3 new clients. So just because of that energy shift and giving herself that role, yes, I am an EFT practitioner. And I think sometimes I have observed in the past people thinking, well, I'm just kind of squeezing it in and doing it in my spare time.
Right. It's knowing your value, and so that your clients can acknowledge it too.
Yeah, and what do you mean by your value?
Yeah, the value that you place on you as an actual professional coach, instead of you as someone that's just trying to figure it out. And one of the things that we work a lot with in Jumpstart is, all of those limiting beliefs, like you're not experienced enough, you're not ready yet, you're not good enough. So it's valuing yourself, knowing that, yes, indeed, I am a working professional. This is how I show up in my business. And like you said, making it very clear on many different levels that this is what you're going to be doing in the world professionally to earn a nice living.
That's right. And the value component is so huge for me. I mean, it's very clear that when our students really take on and own their value, the incredible offerings that they have in the world around them and the difference that they can make and the legacy that they will indeed be living, that's when I observe a real shift in them, and they're able to confidently ask for a fee that they deserve and really start putting themselves out there with confidence and ease.
And building credibility as an expert in their particular niche. All of those things are we've seen that over and over again in our program, and it's great to watch. It's great to watch not only from the viewpoint of what's happening in the internal shifts with our students, but then what it is that they're actually bringing out into the world, helping so many people.
Wonderful. So I noticed one of the things that you commented on just now was something that you hear, and I certainly hear too, is I don't have the experience yet. So I've done the workshops, and I've got the training, and I've got my certificate now, but I'm just not ready. I'm still not ready to put myself out there.
Yeah. And logically, that makes no sense at all, because we know the truth about many of the people that say that they do EFT. The vast majority have not taken steps to be certified or trained, and so you're talking about the top, 10% that go on to do training, workshops, and get certification. So already that sets you way above everybody else. I recently talked to a therapist, and I said, so yeah, I do EFT in my practice, and I just asked a few questions. And they had never done any kind of training whatsoever. They had seen it in a 15-minute breakout session at a conference, and then just decided, okay, I can do that. And we know that's not true. So yeah, I mean the idea that you're not good enough logically makes no sense, but there it is. And we know as EFT coaches, we know what to do with that. Tap on it.
Exactly. And actually, because it's something that we hear so much, I wondered if it might be beneficial to do some tapping around that right now.
That would be great.
Yeah, just to get into the feel of, for the audience, maybe if we're pushing some buttons as we're talking here, and perhaps some of you, if there's any of you who are feeling that this is resonating for you. Yeah, I'm not ready, and I'm still practicing on friends and family. I'm not inclined to ask for money yet. I just simply don't have the experience. I think this would be a benefit to tap along with Alina and me, taking full responsibility for your own well-being. I mean, there is really no time like the present to gain experience. And you're always going to be learning from your clients how to advance your skills further, whether you've been doing EFT for 1 month or 15 years. So would you like to tap along with me, Alina?
Sure. I'll be your shadow here. Go for it.
Okay, so if we're thinking about some of the limiting beliefs around I'm not experienced, I haven't had enough experience, I'm just not ready to put myself out there. Okay, so tapping on the karate chop point, we'll say this. Even though I'm not ready to establish my EFT practice.
Even though I'm not ready to establish my EFT practice.
I can accept myself for that.
I can accept myself for that.
Even though I don't have enough experience.
Even though I don't have enough experience.
So I'm not going to work with paying clients yet.
So I'm not going to work with paying clients yet.
And you can't make me.
You can't make me. No way.
I accept myself and how I'm feeling about this.
I accept myself and how I'm feeling about this.
Even though I have this really deeply rooted belief.
Even though I have this really deeply rooted belief.
That I need more experience.
That I need more experience.
Before I attract paying clients.
Before I attract paying clients.
I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
That when I feel safe enough.
That when I feel safe enough.
I can let that go.
I can let that go.
And accept all of me.
And accept all of me.
And what I have to offer the world.
And what I have to offer the world.
Nice. Let's tap the top of their head. I'm just not ready to do this.
I'm just not ready to do this.
Eyebrow point. I need much more time.
I need much more time.
Outside of the eye. I feel too much pressure.
I feel too much pressure.
Under the eye. I need more time.
I need more time.
Under the nose. I need more experience.
I need more experience.
Chin point. I haven't tapped on enough people yet.
I haven't tapped on enough people yet.
Collarbone point. I haven't got enough experience.
I haven't got enough experience.
Under the arm. And I'm just not ready.
And I'm just not ready.
Top of the head. All of this makes me feel very pressurized.
All this makes me feel very pressurized.
Eyebrow point. I'm feeling overwhelmed.
I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Outside of the eye. Who am I to work with a paying client?
Who am I to work with a paying client?
Under the eye. I need much more time.
I need much more time.
Under the nose. I'm not ready yet.
I'm not ready yet.
Chin point. All of this is very stressful.
All of this is very stressful.
Collarbone point. I've decided I need more experience.
I decided I need more experience.
Under the arm. I'm just not ready.
I'm just not ready.
Okay, so take a breath. Let some of that energy start to shift. I wondered as you were tapping, Alina, were any other thoughts coming up for you? Any feelings?
No, it was interesting. I got the image when you said I love that word pressurized, because to me it really does look like a pressure cooker.
Yes, doesn't it?
Growing up, I don't know what it was about my family. We used a lot of my mom used to make beans or whatever in the pressure cooker. And once when I was learning how to cook in my early 20s, I did something and I did not maybe seal it correctly or whatever, but there was an explosion in my kitchen, and I got black beans on the ceiling of my kitchen. That took months and months to clean. So it is that idea that there is so much pressure. And it's going to explode. So it's good to release it and acknowledge it and know that it's there.
That's right, yeah. And I mean, this is just one pressure people put upon themselves. And I mean, there are probably at least another 20 limiting beliefs that go along with this.
Absolutely.
So, of course, as you've mentioned several times, we have the tool at our fingertips, and what we're wanting to contribute to the world is what we can use on ourselves as well when this kind of thing comes up. I wonder if we can do another round to introduce some possibilities.
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's tap again on the karate chop point, and we'll say this. Even though I'm determined that I'm not ready.
Even though I'm determined that I'm not ready.
What if I am already?
What if I am already?
And even though I've decided I don't have enough experience.
Even though I've decided I don't have enough experience.
What if I have more than enough?
What if I have more than enough?
Even though I've made some very clear decisions.
Even though I've made some very clear decisions.
That I'm not ready and I don't have enough experience.
That I'm not ready and I don't have enough experience.
What if I were wrong?
What if I were wrong?
What if I have all the experience I need already?
Oh, what if I have all the experience I need already?
What if I am already ready?
What if I'm already ready?
Nice. So top of the head. I'm starting to change my mind.
I'm starting to change my mind.
Eyebrow point. What if I am ready?
What if I am ready?
Outside of the eye. There was that part of me convincing me I wasn't.
There was that part of me convincing me that I wasn't.
Under the eye. I don't have to listen to that part of me.
I don't have to listen to that part of me.
Under the nose. I'm listening to the part of me that's decided.
I'm listening to the part of me that's decided.
Chin point. I am ready.
I am ready.
Collarbone point. Now is the perfect time.
Now is the perfect time.
Under the arm. I have all the experience I need.
I have all the experience I need.
Top of the head. And my experiences will grow.
And my experiences will grow.
Eyebrow point. The more I work with paying clients.
The more I work with paying clients.
Outside of the eye. Every paying client will offer a new experience.
Every paying client will offer me a new experience.
Under the eye. I am ready.
I am ready.
Under the nose. I didn't even realize.
I didn't even realize.
Chin point. I've decided to be surprisingly calm and confident about this.
I'm deciding to be positive and confident about this. Surprisingly so.
And the collarbone point. I can do it.
I can do it.
Under the arm. And I'm ready to embrace all of me.
I'm ready to embrace all of me.
As I start to shine my light in the world.
As I start to shine my light in the world.
Nice. So let's take a breath. Good job. Anything to share about that?
No, that all feels really good. And I would imagine because of our program and just listening to what students have told us some of their blocks are, and what some of our own blocks were. I mean, just even that last statement about letting your light shine. For many people that's just it. Maybe they've been using EFT, or maybe they have had a practice, and they know they haven't reached their fullest potential with it. I told somebody recently, you work really hard at dimming that light.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that really saddens me, because when I see everything that our students have to offer and just how skilled they are and the passion that they have, and yet they're sort of cowering back in the shadows because of all those blocks and fears of success and failure.
Right.
And like you said to your client or your student, you work really hard at dimming that light. That takes a lot of energy.
It sure does. It sure does.
It takes much less energy to move forward with ease and step out there. because then we're really in the flow and we're doing what we love, and that can't do anything but create joy.
Absolutely.
So, Alina, with all this in mind, I believe that you have something that you'd like to tell us about.
Yeah, we have an upcoming call in the evening, and we're going to be talking about the pitfalls and the pitfalls of EFT coaches, the things that we've seen over and over again that really, really limit EFT coaches in their ability to really make their mark and do well and be very successful with their practice with paying clients. And so we have created an evening call, and you can go to facebook.com/jumpstart your EFT practice. Jumpstart your EFT practice on Facebook. And there, if you sign up for our free Jumpstart news, you will not only get the information for the evening call, but you will also receive a free report, and it's got tapping scripts, and I think you will really enjoy it. And the title of that is Unleash Your Inner Mogul Using EFT. You're going to love that. I've gotten really great feedback from that report from people that have used it. So, and the other thing is we are starting up our Jumpstart course in October. And we are very excited to start this new 6-month round. And we decided that we wanted to make it extra special, and so we are doing a live event, and anyone that signs up for Jumpstart gets a free golden ticket to that one-day event. And the one-day event is really on money blocks, because if this is your business and this is the main vehicle for bringing money into your life, then money blocks certainly come into the mix. So we have a day of all kinds of wonderful, outrageous activities to really bust through any limiting beliefs you have around money, and that'll be in Vancouver.
Yes, so just to be clear, when you register for our Jumpstart Your EFT Practice program, you automatically receive a free, as Alina called it, golden ticket to busting through your beliefs workshop, which is at the end of October in Vancouver. So you get that workshop completely free as a gift from us. It will be, I'm really looking forward to it already, a day of a lot of fun and a lot of interactive exercises working through why you've created the beliefs you have around money and receiving.
Yeah, we had fun discussing some of those things. We're keeping it close to the vest. We're going to have some great surprises and really fun things that we're doing around something that could be very, very heavy. It's going to just blow the lid on these limiting beliefs around money. So but you don't need to remember any of this. All you need to do is go to facebook.com/Jumpstart Your EFT Practice, and if you sign up you'll see the button there to sign up for our Jumpstart News, and we will give you the phone number and information for our upcoming call. And Annabel, do you have the date for that call? I think it's September...
Yes, it is September the 19th.
Great.
And it's at 5 o'clock Pacific time. And during this call, which incidentally is free, the reason that Alina and I wanted to create it was because we have so much to talk about on this topic. I knew we wouldn't have an opportunity to fully discuss it on the show today. We want to share more of our experiences with you and get you starting to understand the pattern and behavior responses you've had around the blocks in your EFT practices and, of course, in receiving money. So, yes, Wednesday the 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Great. Look forward to hearing from some of you. And go to the Jumpstart page, and you can interact with us there as well.
Thank you so much, Alina. Now, there is somebody who has called in, and I just want to double-check, make sure if this person has a question. So this is number 3441. If you have a question, press 1, and I will see your hand raise. Is there anything else in conclusion, Alina, that you would like to share?
Just know that if there has been something that has prevented you from making a nice living from doing EFT in the past, don't give up. There is a block, and just like you see it with your clients, it can be resolved. Have faith and trust, and know that this tool can actually help you as well. And all you need is some knowledge and some guidance. And we wish you the greatest success that you can ever imagine.
Thank you so much, Alina. That's been fantastic. I really appreciate you taking time today during your Labor Day weekend to come and talk to us.
It's been a pleasure letting the audience know what's available to them.
And I think that that's the key, because often people feel that they're very isolated. They've studied, if they've done a workshop, they've got the tools now and the skill set, but then they don't feel they're part of a community or they have a support network.
Right.
And it can be very isolating. I know that that's how I certainly felt when I started my practice. And I guess one of the fantastic things about Jumpstart is that people are part of a community and they are supported.
Yeah, no, that's a really great aspect of it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alina. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
And I'm just going to unmute this person and just check in. And hi, your number is 3441. Did you have a question?
Yes, actually, I did. And hello to you. This is Annabel, correct?
Yes. Hi.
Hi there. I am a student, actually, of Alina's from a couple of years ago. And during the tapping round that you both just did, what came up for me was that I don't have enough money to get started in the EFT business.
So has that been enough of a block to not get you started?
I would have to say yes, because that was what just kept sticking out, and also fear, of course. Fear of diving into it and not making the money needed to pay the bills.
Sure. So speaking from my own experience, I didn't have any money to get started. Like I said, I was on disability, so every penny that I received through that obviously had to go on living expenses and food and bills and so forth. And Alina shared her story as well. I mean, she had children that she was having to provide for as well. So this is something that we hear very often, that I don't actually have the money to get started. So I'll give my take, and then perhaps Alina, if you would be good enough to share some ideas yourself. What my experience was I didn't actually need any money to get started, or I certainly didn't need masses of money. Well, the beauty of EFT, unlike many modalities, is that we can do it virtually. So in actual fact, very, very few of my clients I see in person at my home office. About 95% of them are Skype or phone clients. So long as you have a computer already, you're already most of the way there. And then another step that we actually teach in Jumpstart is how to put yourself out there in the community. So get yourself known by attending events and promoting the work you do. And likewise, that doesn't cost anything either. You're simply going to breakfast meetings and things like that, or perhaps going into a clinic locally and asking if you can do a presentation. When I first moved to Vancouver in 2006, I wrote to some of the charity organizations asking if I could do a presentation on EFT to its members. So all of that doesn't actually cost anything. What it can cost is emotional distress thinking about it. So then, of course, we have the tools to address the fears that come up about putting ourselves out there. Because, again, that's something that if we've worked in the corporate field or received a paycheck each month, we haven't really had to put ourselves out there. So, Alina, is there anything that you can add?
Yeah, I worked with a client this morning who I hadn't seen in probably about 5 years or so, and he lives here in the community, and I live in a very, very small community, and he said to me, once again, people have told me that I needed to come see you, and you're once again, you're what they say is true about you, that you're brilliant. And I laughed at that because I feel like I really have established myself as the expert here in my small community in this. And I'm talking really small numbers. In my town, there are only 786 people. And so when I hear people telling me that they have these limiting beliefs and these fears around not doing enough, not being able to expand their business because of maybe geographic location, that makes me chuckle, and I know that that's not true. It is a fear. And something to be worked on. I can't tell you how many fears I had around being really successful, putting myself out there. I had fear of public speaking, which nobody can believe. I had fear of technology, and in Jumpstart I talk about all the reasons why that happened. And now I do all the work on my own website. So just know that those fears can be released, can be shifted. An awareness of what those blocks are is really key to the process. Mm-hmm. And finding a community of people that are of like mind, that are facing the same challenges is also really important, I think.
Got it.
Does that give you some foundations to work on?
Oh, absolutely. And Alina, you are brilliant. This is Kat.
I'm sorry?
This is Kat.
Oh, hi, Kat. Yeah, no, I say that because back when I started, I didn't feel brilliant. I did not feel that I had taken on this idea that I'm too new at this. I haven't had enough experience. Meanwhile, my clients were experiencing huge shifts, and that happens for every single coach that goes through our program. So, Kat, come to our call at September the 19th. And you'll hear more about the pitfalls that we commonly see.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate both of your time today, and thanks for the tapping that you just did. It helped me get some clarity, and I know what I got to do. I just got to do it.
Awesome.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Kat.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining Alina and me today. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'll be interviewing sound healer Gudrun Eichhorst. She's a Reiki master and teacher, sound healer, and EFT and matrix re-imprinting practitioner. And I want to talk to her about her use of sound healing along with EFT and matrix work because she works primarily helping people with the effects of trauma. So I shall really look forward to you joining us in 2 weeks' time and connecting with you then. You're most welcome to visit my website, the EFTHealingCenter.com, or you can connect with me on Facebook. Until next time, take good care and happy tapping to you. Bye-bye for now.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.